Hi everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, and this is Connor.
Hey guys.
We're going to talk about the night of episode 4. It's called The Art of War. Full
Appropriate.
spoilers. Yeah, full spoilers as always. So, this was an episode where Naz was being tugged in two directions. I'm not even. Did we ever even learn the name of the guy who told the story about his niece? Did we ever get his name?
I don't remember it.
Yeah. Because typically I just forget names, especially when they're new characters, but I don't even think I'd remember hearing his name. Like I don't remember there had been a scene where they introduced each other to themselves.
No, I don't remember because when they first meet, he just starts talking to him, doesn't he?
Yeah, because it starts with the whole clearing up the bed that was burned at the end of the last episode, and it's when he's like just after seeing like the officers and stuff, he sits down next to this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or he sits that's after he sees his lawyer. I can't remember, but near the start of the episode, he just sits down next to him, and he immediately starts talking to him.
Is it not in the canteen? Or not canteen, the shop thing.
Ah, you're right. It's just after that other guy borrowed, and I'm using air quotes there,
Yes.
some money from Naz. You're right. Yeah,
Yeah, and he just starts talking to him. It's just like there is no
yeah,
introduction.
yeah. It's been a good 12 hours since I watched this, so forgive me if there's a few details
That's fair enough.
I'm fudging. But he was being pulled in that direction by him because he kept saying, "Don't trust Freddy," aka Omar from The Wire. Um, and meanwhile, Freddy's like, "Don't do this. Do this." You know, and they're both giving opposite advice the entire time. And then simple little things like what color of suit, the prison suit to wear when he goes to
Yeah.
see the press and all that, all those little details, which I thought was interesting. That was good stuff. For me, perhaps the more interesting thing right now is still Stone's conscious, and also the other lawyer who obviously eventually like gives up being his lawyer, and we'll get to that because the best scene of the episode is definitely in the court later on.
Yeah, definitely.
But one of the scenes that I liked really early on in this episode was when um I can't what's John thingy's name again? Like his character's name, the lawyer Stone.
John
There you go.
Stone?
Is his name John as well? Yeah.
I thought it was.
I second guess myself because that's his real name.
Yeah, I think that's why I remember it. Because I go to
Uh,
say John, and I'm like, no, wait, is that his name? And it's like, yeah, I'm sure that is.
I'll just
Because
say
I think
Stone.
that every time.
Stone's yeah, Stone's easier.
Yeah,
Yeah, but anyway, he has like another random like quick case that he goes down to the jail cell for. And it's actually quite a funny story. The guy's telling this story about how he stabbed his barber because his barber came out with a machete. But the entire time, he clearly he knows this guy's lying to him. He's just telling a lie because he's not going to admit what he actually did or why he actually did it.
yeah,
And you can see in his face that he knows this guy's lying, just like he knows Naz isn't lying.
yeah. And then
And
it gets to the end of the story, and he goes, I'm not even sure I did it.
yeah,
It's like, ugh,
and it parallels with Naz almost, but it's like he can just he knows one of them's lying, and the other
yeah.
one he's not sure about at all.
It kind of ties into the stuff in the prison where the guy says, there's so many guys in there that say, oh, it wasn't them, that they're
Yeah,
not guilty and stuff. And it's like, and it must be something that Stone sees every day as a lawyer.
oh yeah, because I'm sure like 90% of the people he defends
Yeah,
probably fall into this category.
exactly. But that's why Naz is the exception. It's like you can tell something's different.
Yeah. And again, I love when he pokes at the detective and he's like, he points out to the detective that even you, deep down, you know something's wrong about this.
Yeah,
And I like that stuff. I like when they play around with that. But yeah, the big scene of this episode is certainly when we get to not a trial. It's like the plea arrangement thing in
yeah,
court. I don't know the exact term for it, but they go to court for this. And all the episode, it's been kind of building up to this, where the new lawyers like, you should take this deal. And one of the things I really liked about the build up to this is she keeps doing this thing where she's kind of talking down to him and keeps saying things in a very specific way where she clearly wants him to take the deal, but she keeps phrasing it in a really sort of like she's manipulating him into taking the deal.
She's not as subtle as the detective, is she?
No, she's not. She's not at all. And I really like the moment when Stone comes up to him in court, just sort of sneaks up behind him and gives him his advice. Well, I'll not it's the right advice, but that felt very genuine.
That's the difference, isn't it? Whereas for her, it's like, let's just get this case over and done with. For him, that's like he genuinely believes that advice. Well, again, like I say, it might be good advice, it might be bad advice, but that's what he thinks is best, not just for the sake of the case.
Yeah, not just you get the sense that she wants a pin to put in her collar as another success in her career.
Yeah, it's like look what we got this down to.
And while Stone was kind of like that, like he caught this big fish early on, this felt genuine. Like, and we've seen the whole thing with the cat and the metaphors that he's.
Yeah, just the fact that he's still hanging around even though he's not connected to the case.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's all there.
It's very true. But the other scene that also relates about all this and this idea that people are talking to him differently is when he asked to see the lawyer's assistant.
Yeah.
The Asian one who comes in, and Naz even says it. He says, like, thanks for talking to me like I'm an actual person and not someone who's talking me into something. And and it's that whole idea that she says if you didn't do it, then I wouldn't plead guilty. So when he goes out there on that stand, this is the best scene of the episode. Is when
by far.
He's being asked all these questions. He's the DA's drilling him and saying, you understand that if you say this, blah blah blah. You understand that if you say this, you won't have this right, and so on. And she finally says, "So are you pleading guilty?" And he does kind of reluctantly say, "Yeah, I'm pleading guilty." And she says, "All right, but I have to hear everything in your own words. What happened that night?" And he describes the night. And this was really kind of, because even though it's only been a couple of episodes, him describing the events of the night, it's like it was bringing it all back to me.
I think part of that is also the fact that the first episode was early.
Probably, because it was like 3 weeks before episode 2.
So it's been like 2 months almost since we watched that.
Yeah, so him saying it all was sort of bringing it back. And you kind of knew where it was going, really.
But there's a point where you see where he changes his mind.
Yeah, you can see it. You can see it in his face. You can hear it in his voice, and he describes exactly what happened. He says he fell asleep, and he woke up. He went up and he found her, and he ran. And she tries to get him to say the words "I killed her," and he just can't do it.
Yeah.
And the other thing, of course, that I want to point out is when Stone speaks to him. Naz asks Stone, but if I plead guilty, my parents won't ever be sure if I did it or not. And Stone says, they're already like that. And I think that, along with the advice from the assistant, whose name I can't remember, I think both of those elements contribute to reinforcing this idea of, like, I don't care. I know I'm innocent.
Yeah, because there's the other bit, like I think Stone gave the best reason for him to plead guilty as well. Compared to the other lawyer woman, where she just wants it over and done with. He asks, Naz asks him, if I plead guilty, won't it just look like I am guilty? Won't it just appear that I did it, and everyone will think I did it? And he goes, yeah, but if you don't, you've got to bet on a jury on whether or not you'll be better or worse.
Yeah, if you want to gamble, go to Atlantic City where the odds are better, I believe is the line. That was good. And he also says, when he says, won't people just assume I did it? And he said, well, not necessarily. You might just not trust 8 random people or whatever to decide that you didn't do it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But at the same time, I get from Nazi's point of view, like, well, he's still saying I need to spend like 12, 15 years in prison.
Yeah, that's very
But
true.
at the same time, I get it when Stone says, like, I wish I was 35 again, which is the age you'll be when you get out.
Yeah, it's not like too late.
Yeah, you can still kind of start your life at 35.
Yeah, that's his point there. Yeah, it's why his advice feels like he could advise him to do that and genuinely think it's a good choice rather than just the paycheck.
Exactly. So there's some great character stuff from Stone in this one, and Naz. Of course, we get the scene of the guy who's been given advice turns out to be a bit psychotic when he throws the hot water mixed with the stuff that because he described earlier in the episode that if you mix that
The
almost
baby oil.
yeah, the almost boiling stuff with the oil, it'll burn. So yeah, so the episode ends with Naz accepting Freddy's help, but of course there's some other stuff along the way. Stone does go and do a bit of investigating. He goes to the funeral. He sees a little bit of a fight between the stepdad and some unknown person that I don't believe we've seen before.
Not to my recollection.
He also goes digging into her past and finds a rehab clinic that she attended, and he gets photos of the records, her records from that guy, and also I was amused that Stone, when he was telling the assistant about getting them, he upped the price that he actually paid for it.
Yeah,
That was classic
I mean,
Stone.
that's the thing. It's like, yeah, he's doing this for the right reasons, but he's still a bit of a money grubber, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah. We also get scenes of him going to another doctor and being
They
put on
want him to put him in bleach.
different medication, different methods. Dear. So
It's just this big metaphor still, isn't it? It's like just trying all these different things for Naz and seeing what'll stick.
yeah, and I'm fascinated to see what eventually will stick.
So yeah, something's going to eventually. It's just what will it be?
I'm still sticking to my guns that end of episode 7, because there's 8 episodes. Or by the end of the second last episode, we'll find it, or he'll realise he's found it. There'll be that moment, and that'll be the cliffhanger. That's my bet.
That's a perfectly logical bet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting anything on it because I might be wrong, but
if you were gonna guess, I mean, you'd probably guess that from before the show even started, really.
yeah. So we mentioned that Naz dumped / his lawyer quit. It was kind of a mutual thing almost, just the way he.
Yeah.
I actually quite like Naz in that scene because the way he was like, "Well, if you don't like this, then leave, go away."
He's taking his prison lessons.
So they implied the assistant might become his new lawyer, but she also said it wouldn't be free anymore. And given that she said she'd be charging at least triple of what Stone was going to charge, I have a feeling that Stone is going to be galloping into the picture once again on his white horse.
Oh, it's a bit grey, isn't it, that horse?
Yeah, a bit grey. Actually, speaking of Stone, I both laughed and cringed and felt bad for him when the other lawyer basically laughs at the idea that Naz had a professional lawyer when he was ready his first bail
harsh,
hearing. Yeah, because he's sitting right there. But I love his reaction to it though. He doesn't even react that much. He's just like, yeah, I kind of expect that.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah. Read Saul in this show though. Read Jimmy McGilty.
Oh man,
Comes storming through the door.
That's the crossover I want to see.
Oh god. Anything else I'm missing? Any other big points?
I really like Freddy in this. He's got expanded. We saw he's a very learned man.
Oh yeah. He's most proud of his high school diploma.
Yeah.
And he likes Naz because it's someone he can actually have an intelligent conversation with.
Yeah, and he's like reading all these books, and it's like, look,
Yeah.
have this conversation. It's like he's actually respectable
Yeah. Well, I mean,
to a degree.
the way I said that was harsh, as if everyone else is an idiot. But you know what I mean. The point he's making is that he likes to read, he likes to learn about things, and he wants to have, a conversation with someone who's.
It's kind of weird because he clearly feels like he's better than everyone else there. Because the assumption is most of these criminals who are here were not school smart, is what is implied at least.
Yeah, it's certainly what's implied, and
Yeah.
well, I think typically that's probably somewhat true. I mean, obviously
You'd assume so.
you get the higher collar crime, of course, and your tax dodgers and all sorts of nonsense, but
Yeah, but then he clearly thinks just because he has paid attention to school, he is better than them.
yeah.
I think it's interesting that he sees Naz more as an equal than anyone else in the prison.
Yeah. Well, it's that moment where he hands him the book and Naz is like, well, thanks, but I've already read it.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of sums it up, right? That scene right there.
Yeah, it's good. I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes.
Hmm. Also, there was a bloody boxing fight and a couple of bits and
It's very
bobs.
visceral, that boxing fight, actually.
It was, yeah. I mean, as the whole season, it's been very on point with the direction and making
Tell you
everything
what,
feel.
there was one shot I particularly liked. It's not even like a big shot. It was just he's walking through the corridor, and it's the camera's in front of him as he's walking down, and the knife just comes across his arm.
Actually, that whole scene was very well done because, yeah, you got the sense something was about to happen just by the way it was filmed.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was just, and then the knife just kind of comes, and you see it, but then it's just there and it's gone. It's really good.
Yeah, because there was even like a side shot when it went out to the side as they were walking past this door,
Yeah,
and you seen like the sort of two roads like going the opposite directions. It looked very nice.
it really did.
But no, that's the night of part 4. We'll see how it develops next time. So let us know what you thought in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that jazz. Thanks very much for watching, guys. We will see you next time.